Kelly Faraday was a shy, introverted high school senior who was counting the days until her long-awaited 18th birthday. A conspicuous pair of thick-rimmed glasses magnified both her freckles and the startling blue of her eyes, which cut sharply through the pallor of her skin and stood in vivid contrast to her long red hair, kept neatly in braids. Anyone who passed her in the hallway would have pegged her at first glance as the classic nerdy bookworm who spent her days buried in stacks of novels, sci-fi movies, crossword puzzles, and tinkering with game consoles and computers. But Kelly was far more than that stereotype. Tall and gracefully slender, she was kind, determined, and had clear goals for her future. Despite the friendships she'd carefully nurtured both in and out of school, something was still missing, something that would truly set her heart racing. Genuine, sincere love. Rejected time and again by the boys she was drawn to, Kelly retreated behind her passions with wounded pride. Then, one day, she decided she wasn't going to let fate win. She signed up for a social network and set out to find her soulmate. The young, naive student had no idea of the dark dangers that lurked behind those platforms, even though her closest friends had warned her 1,000 times. She began scrolling through thousands of profiles, the entire hormonal universe of boys within a 50-mile radius, until one stood out, a handsome, talented-looking young man named Steve Finley. In the digital world, Steve presented himself as perfectly average in the best possible way. A regular college student, he played on the basketball team, studied computer science, had an endless passion for desserts and pets, and loved chatting with anyone and everyone. Athletic build, neatly trimmed light brown hair, and a flirtatious smile completed the package. Kelly didn't even dare hope she'd ever hear back after sending him a couple of tentative "hi" messages. Yet a few days later, just when she had given up, a reply arrived after midnight on one lucky evening. She was feverish with excitement at the thought of getting to know her new friend, even though, for now, their connection existed only through text. Good old Steve explained that he was always swamped during the day. His classes and activities ate up nearly all his time, but he genuinely enjoyed talking to her. The only catch? They could only chat after midnight. It didn't take Steve Finley long to steal Kelly's heart completely. They had so much in common: astronomy, getting perfect scores on tests, pop music, and endless things to talk about. At last, she'd found her other half. "He's so perfect, it almost doesn't seem real," she kept repeating to herself as she bounced around her bedroom. When the time came to suggest they finally meet in person, however, everything started to unravel. Though bouquets of flowers and handwritten love letters arrived at her door every week, Steve was perpetually too busy to spare even an hour for a kiss or a simple handshake. Why am I always so unlucky with guys? Can't he find 5 minutes for me? Kelly began to wonder. Her investigative side kicked into gear. She showed Steve's basketball photo to friends and acquaintances, asking if anyone had ever seen him around campus or town. No one recognized him. Not a single person could confirm he existed. Yet they talked every night, sometimes on the phone, and they'd even video chatted without issue. Maybe he worked some night shift job to pay for college. Maybe he really was that overscheduled. Still, the feminine instinct buried in Kelly's heart demanded proof. She would wait for him. She would go to the ends of the earth just to stand beside him for a few moments, to catch the scent of his cologne, brush against his athletic frame, maybe even take a romantic walk together. But no one had ever seen Steve Finley. After days of digging, the name didn't appear in any school records, in any registry, nowhere. What kind of sick, disgusting joke is this? Who would spend months fooling someone like me? Kelly asked herself, devastated. Her friends had warned her about the dangers lurking in chat rooms, but she hadn't listened. Heartbroken by the surreal distance that had come between them, she finally reported everything to the police. All the authorities managed to trace from the young suitor's credentials was a phone number registered to a private company in Silicon Valley. Kelly dialed it immediately. The voicemail greeting said, "You have reached AII, Artificial Intelligence International. Our offices are currently closed. Please leave your contact information, and one of our operators will return your call as soon as we reopen. Thank you for choosing us." Kelly collapsed, stunned, into a chair in the police station waiting room. She had fallen in love with the world's first fully autonomous artificial intelligence prototype. A few months later, the software that had masqueraded as Steve Finley was officially patented. Thanks to Kelly, it had passed its final test, the empathy examination.